Ladies and gents, welcome back. Tamara Lich, once again a free woman here in Canada. Yesterday, let out on bail by a higher court judge. That same judge giving the justice of the peace that put her in there a bit of a flogging in the courthouse, but we'll get into that here. First, let's have a scene here. Video footage courtesy of Dave from Live from the Shed. Tamara Lich being released from the courthouse yesterday. Beautiful sight here. Lots of hugs, lots of warm welcomes back to the other side of those doors at the courthouse. But let's get into it. We have Freedom Convoy organizer Tamara Lich freed on bail for the second time. This is from CTV News, written by Glenn McGregor. Well, there's a reason why I'm reading this article, and we'll get into that later in the video. So tune in, stay tuned for that. Ottawa protest organizer Tamara Lich has been freed on bail for the second time after a judge overturned a previous decision that sent her back into custody. Very happy to be free and out, Lich said, as she was mobbed by supporters while leaving the courthouse on Tuesday. She's been in custody since June 27th, accused of breaching her bail conditions. Superior Court Judge Andrew Goodman said that the Justice of the Peace, who presided over Lich's June 27th show cause hearing, made several errors of law and misapprehended some facts when he ordered her continued detention. So that's the flogging, I suppose. Lich was accused. And you know, they do it in a very polite way, but when you rule against another judge and you say it openly and publicly, it's pretty damning for the other judge's career in that position. Now, mind you, Justice of the Peaces are politically appointed, and well, you can defer what you would like from that one. Lich was accused of breaching the bail condition that prohibited her from communicating with 10 other protest organizers, including the former Convoy spokesman, Tom Marazzo. They sat at the same table at the Freedom Award Gala in Toronto in June and were photographed together. Yeah, that's right. Tamara Lich won the George Jonas Freedom Award for her contributions to freedom in Canada for what? Her support in organizing the Freedom Convoy. So yes, the very thing that she's being put up for bail under the charges that are being laid against her. She just received a freedom fighting award from the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms. Yeah, that's correct. Goodman found that the breach claim to be tenuous and not rationally connected, in quotes there, to the idea behind the communication order, to prevent the organization of another Freedom Convoy protest. The point of that was to stop them from organizing a thing, not just seeing each other, and especially if they were there with their counsel. As we understand now that they put this order in place, but the stipulation to that order was that they could be in the same place. They could communicate with each other as long as counsel was present. And that was the case. He disagreed with the Justice of the Peace about the gravity of the charges, a key factor in the bail decision, saying it's likely she would be sentenced to a lengthy term of imprisonment if convicted. The Crown had argued that Lich could be sentenced to a prison term of up to 10 years because the effect of the protest in the city and its citizens. Miss Lich is presumed to be innocent, Goodman said in his decision. Nothing that there is uncertainty about the degree to which she will be held culpable for the protest. If at all. That's the whole idea. You got to take the person to court. You cannot use guilt of a crime in a bail hearing. That is to be decided in the actual court case. Nothing in these reasons, Goodman said, is intended to minimize the harm done to the citizens of Ottawa. The cost of various levels of government. Goodman noted that Lich had obeyed all the other bail conditions imposed on her for nearly 4 months and took steps of going back to court and asking for the conditions to be varied to allow for her to attend the gala. Lich's defense lawyer said that they were pleased with the ruling. Now, here is the photograph in question. This is a photograph at the gala, and here's Tamara Lich, and here's Tom Marazzo. Their lawyers were just off camera. They were just off camera, and I reported about this previously, that if the the detective, who's apparently a homicide detective, that was the one who sent out that Canada-wide warrant at the time to go after her and get her from Medicine Hat, Alberta, and bring her all the way back to Ottawa to be put back in jail, could have just made a phone call. Hey, were your lawyers present? Because that was the terms. That was the stipulation. And there would be lots of people to sign affidavits on behalf of that fact. Lich's defense lawyer said they were pleased with the ruling. Obviously, they were disappointed. It took nearly a month in custody to get to this point, but were pleased at the conclusion today that the order detaining her was clearly inappropriate and that is now been corrected and has been released, said lawyer Eric Granger outside the court. Before the decision, Lich appeared on the stand to face cross-examination by Crown Prosecutor Moise Karimji, who asked about her personal financial situation. Lich said she had received about $69,000 in donations to her defense, and that was the Give, Send, Go that I helped promote and get out there, and I know a number of you guys out there in the ether donated. Karimji played a TikTok video. Before we get into that, here's the Crown Prosecutor, by the way. This is from True North News. Lich's Crown Prosecutor donated $17,000 to Liberals, attended a Trudeau fundraiser. Well, hey, maybe that has something to do with things, but I'll leave that up to you guys. You can draw your own conclusions. Karimji played a TikTok video in court, which another protest organizer claimed Lich had once expressed support for a plan to buy a property in Ottawa to use as a base for the protest. But Lich denied she had any involvement in a plan by a group called the United People of Canada to acquire a former church by the Bayward Market to use as an embassy. Now, most of the time you would call this hearsay because it's somebody else's account of a thing that it's too far removed to use in this case. Lich also told the court that her husband, Dwayne Lich, had traveled to Ottawa during a protest aboard a chartered aircraft paid for by Adopt a Trucker fundraiser, not a private jet funded by Good Christian, as Dwayne Lich testified in February. So just correcting the record. Lich, 49, faces a list of criminal charges including mischief, counseling intimidation, and counseling obstruction. So talking to people. She is guilty of talking to people about things involved in a protest that was found by another Ontario court judge as being legal, lawful protest, and related to the 3-week occupation, in quotes, I would put, of Ottawa's downtown core. A pre-trial hearing is scheduled for August. Now, why did I speak on this report from CTV News by Glenn McGregor? Well, hey, our boy Glenn was caught on camera trying to agitate the crowd as they got out of the courthouse. And this video is from William Diaz Berthiaume. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, my man. But yeah, he's over there at the Rebel News, and he was filming as they were coming out. And well, yeah, good old reporter boy here getting out there, Glenn, shoving and pushing his way in and trying to, I don't know what his motives there were, so I'm not going to speculate on his motives, but it appears as though he was agitating the crowd for a reaction. But you be the judge. Here he is in the blue suit, at the very back, pushing his way in, shoving on people, and then getting physical right afterwards, a police officer steps in and comes to his aid. As he has a very, very exhausted looking look on his face. And we can see that again as he comes in to intimidate, or to instigate, and then starts shoving first. So we'll see what happens with that. But that was the article written by this guy here. we know there's a little bit of a bias there. And because it was so straightforward and to the point about what went down in the courthouse, you can't say even with a shred of doubt that Tamara Lich is out for the right causes. And Judge Goodman doing the thing that a good man would do in his position and releasing Tamara out to be free until her hearing, where she can be judged by her peers, a court of her peers. I don't know if it's going to be jury. We'll see. But I'm sure none of us are worried about what's going on here. It seems like the punishment is, in fact, the process. Term I think was coined by Viva Frei. I'm not sure. I heard about it from him first, and that is lawfare. The idea of punishing people through the process, not using the process to punish people. Anyway, that's all I have for you this morning. Tune into the next video. We'll see you then. Keep on trucking.